Z News 2 Louisiana, a look at the issues facing our state and community.
The Emerge Center, helping families find hope, helping children emerge in the battle against autism. And welcome to Sunday Journal. I'm John Pastorek. Today, the battle against autism. It's a battle being waged at the Baton Rouge Speech and Hearing Foundation, a special place that's helping families find hope, helping children emerge from the darkness and despair of autism. Since 1960, thousands of children have walked through the doors of the Baton Rouge Speech and Hearing Foundation. Children trapped by the limitations of speech, language, and hearing impairments, and autism. And through the center's cutting-edge technologies and therapies, they've emerged on their way to independent communication and social interaction. Kids like 3-year-old Trey Fletcher, who was diagnosed with autism right before his second birthday.
It was devastating, it really was. It was like somebody had taken his future and just said, put a big question mark on it.
It's estimated 1 in 88 children are diagnosed with autism, 1 in 55 boys. But the Fletchers found hope at the Baton Rouge Speech and Hearing Foundation.
He's made phenomenal progress. He still has a long way to go, but from where he started, he's a different child than he was before.
Now the foundation is changing its name and location. In January, they broke ground on the new Emerge Center for Communication, Behavior, and Development, a 26,000 square foot facility.
My child was diagnosed with autism 3 years ago, and we saw what a need there was in the community for more treatment of autism.
And the new autism program will be able to serve more, up to 100 children a year, more than double the center's current capacity.
We have a wait list. We have children that wait, and we know that children don't have the luxury of time to wait. This facility will be able to open the doors to so many more children.
A new beginning with a new name and a new symbol. A butterfly emerges from its cocoon, just like the children emerging from the darkness and despair of a developmental or learning disability. Children like Trey.
It's unbelievable. What they do there is gold. It really is.
And joining us, the executive director of the new Emerge Center. Here she is, Melissa Juneau. How are you doing this morning?
Very well. Thank you so much for having me
Welcome
today.
back to Sunday Journal. How does that sound, the Emerge Center?
Well, it's getting to be a dream realized. You know, we started this journey a couple of years ago as far as raising money in the community for this new facility, and it's been a whirlwind. It's been exciting, and we feel like the dream is being realized. So it's getting easier to say the new name, and we know that we're almost there, and it's just fabulous.
And you broke ground in January.
Yes, we did.
What was that day like?
It was an incredible day. Of course, it was my first actual groundbreaking, and I did not know what to expect. We had an incredible amount of support. Close to 200 people actually attended the groundbreaking. We had a great set of speakers that spoke about the impact we'd make in the community. But I must say, we had a young gentleman, 22 years old, a former client of ours that had gone to our preschool speak, and he brought the house down because people could really grasp the impact that, you know, speech and hearing, now soon to be the Emerge Center, has had on so many lives in this community. So I have to say, he was our closer that day, and he was fabulous.
What an inspirational story indeed.
I think so.
And that's your whole goal, is to reach even more families, to make a bigger impact, because as you always tell me, every time you come here, there's a waiting list. There's some families who can't get their kids into speech and hearing.
Well, you know, we were driven to do this, John, based on the needs of the community. You know, we are a nonprofit in the community. We are very much grateful for all of our community support, and I have a fabulous board. And a few years ago, we looked at this increasing need, and we had to scratch our heads and say, how are we going to do it? And, you know, we are, you know, not a huge corporation, but this volunteer board of community leaders had a vision along with me in saying that we had to do something, and out of that we birthed this capital campaign, And in the community, it's been a groundswell of support from the community, from very large donors of 1.5 million to small donors, but equally important to us, because this is a community center that's going to provide therapy and services for the community. And yes, you know, as a therapist, that's my background, as a mother, and finally as an executive director, I could not and I cannot tolerate this waiting list. We can't turn families away because we know what value we bring and we know the impact we make. So we're opening our doors really wide. We're building a 26,000 square foot building, and it's exciting. And you know, we're going to be there next year, 2014.
It seems like more and more families are facing the battle against autism. Is that true? Or are you seeing more cases or more kids getting diagnosed at a much earlier age?
Absolutely. I mean, right now the stats are 1 in 55 boys, 1 in 88 children. People are getting their children diagnosed earlier. There definitely is an increase in prevalence. I don't think we would see the skyrocketed demand for our services if that were not one part of the scenario. Additionally, because of our services are so unique and stellar and what we're doing, this multidisciplinary, under one roof set of services that really is not being provided anywhere in the South. Basically in Louisiana, from our research, that people are finding this. They're driving from New Iberia, Lafayette, Hammond, New Orleans, all around to find us. So again, that speaks to what we're doing, and it also speaks to the need, and it also speaks to the power of the parent, because you know your child is the most important thing, and parents will do what it takes to get them in effective therapy.
Effective therapy. What makes the difference? You mentioned the 22-year-old who brought down the house at the groundbreaking. Mm-hmm. Why can he do today what he can do when he was diagnosed with autism? One,
his mother was very proactive and aggressive, and she got him in therapy. But what we do is so unique. We have a group therapy concept that's based on a preschool setting, and we take that basic setting that we put our children in, and we infuse some very specialized therapy with that. We have a very low teacher-child ratio, 2-to-1. We involved a lot of LSU students that are undergraduates studying our fields. So we do that. And together, that intensity, that multidisciplinary look, all working with that child as the center, is what makes us very unique.
It's intense, but that's what's important.
But it's fun too, and kids make progress. And you know, the therapists come in happy and proud of the work they do, and we get to hear the stories of like this young man, 22 years old. So it validates all the hard work that we do, and why I'm here at this organization, and why my staff is working very hard, and why I have families working very hard to bring the Emerge Center and the community to be able to provide this service, these therapies, to a broader group of people.
How many more children will you be able to reach or work with the new Emerge Center?
Right, we're looking at doubling our capacity. So on an average, last year we served about 600 children. That's repetitively. We provided over 35,000 hours of therapy. But we're going to focus on hopefully serving at least 100 children with autism in this multidisciplinary setting. Last year, 59 children. We were able to touch 59 children with all these therapies, but we know that's not enough. And also we know the intensity is not enough, because the space limitations that we have in our building, we sometimes have to make a treatment plan based on space. Mm-hmm. The Emerge Center will allow us to really provide, if a child needs 5 days, 5 days of therapy, 8 hours a day, if that's what that child needs. And we can't wait, because we know that the impact will be even greater at that time.
Give us the timetable. When will the new Emerge Center emerge?
Well, I just had a meeting with the contractors, and of course, you know, the weather, we need to talk to Pat about that, because the weather is really not. But we're looking at a Valentine's Day ribbon cutting.
Perfect.
And wouldn't that be awesome?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So we're
from
looking...
the heart, for the heart, from the heart.
So let's say spring 2014, and hopefully you'll have me over a few other times so I can update the community on this project.
And coming up, we're going to meet a family on the front lines of this battle. But first, you can join in the fight. Maybe even win a brand new car courtesy of Robinson Brothers. They're raffling off a brand new Lincoln MKZ this week. And welcome back to Sunday Journal. I'm John Pasternak. This morning, the battle against autism, a battle affecting hundreds of families in the Baton Rouge area. Let's meet one of those families, the Fletchers.
Touch. S.
1 in 88 children is diagnosed with autism. It's a reality for the Fletchers, as 3-year-old Trey was diagnosed with the disorder. But they found hope in life-changing therapy at the Baton Rouge Speech and Hearing Foundation, a special place that has helped Trey and many other youngsters emerge from the shadows of autism.
And joining us now, Trey's mom, Jamie Fletcher. Great to see you.
Good to see you.
How's Trey doing?
He's doing wonderful.
Yeah, 3 years old?
3 years old.
Can you believe it, Mom?
No, I can't. It's been a long 2 years, but it's been great.
You were telling me not long ago he uttered some very important words, something that was very inspiring to you. Tell us about that.
Mama. And he said cheeseburger.
When you heard Mama.
Oh, Mama was just the best. And it's not to say that my other children, it wasn't as significant, but I waited so long to hear it that when he said it, it was just beautiful, absolutely beautiful to hear him say the words.
And he's getting support and help at the Baton Rouge Speech and Hearing Foundation, soon to be the Emerge Center.
Yes.
What has that place done for him and for you?
Oh, when we started, he was completely nonverbal. His eating was the biggest issue. Very few foods, very few textures that he would deal with. And so he started OT, occupational therapy, speech therapy, and then also ABA. So he uses all 3 of the services that they provide at the foundation now to the Emerge Center. But he has gone from peanut butter crackers and yogurt to cheeseburgers, French fries, just a list. He still has, some dietary things that he's picky about, but now he's talking up a storm. Absolutely talk. Every day there's new words, every day. And they said that would happen. You go from a few words to multiple words in about a month. And it's just amazing to hear him talking, and it's great.
Take us back when he was first diagnosed. Did you ever think in your wildest imagination that he'd get to this point where he's talking up a storm, asking for cheeseburgers and that kind of thing?
No, I really didn't. I did not expect. I expected some change, but I didn't expect the magnitude of what has been done with him and the absolute success that we are now. I really thought that this was something I'm going to have to balance the rest of my life. And now he's just a spitfire. He just is just like any other boy. So I'm really hoping that, with a continued path, and then he'll go to kindergarten at Baton Rouge Speech and Hearing, actually the Emerge Center, when it opens, he'll be in the first kindergarten class. So I'm really excited about that he's going to continue on as far as he can for his greatest success before he enters.
Well, we heard Melissa talk about that intense concentrated therapy that they use on the kids there. What do you think made the difference in Trey's case?
First of all, Trey's very stubborn. He really is. And with them, his first part of his group therapy was 6 other boys just like him. And it taught him how to socialize, which is a key component in getting him into normal environments where they desensitize them to it, where it doesn't bother them as much. Then in the ABA, it's absolutely individualized to Trey. The other children there, theirs is individualized to them only. And every day there's a set of instructions that is expected of him. And that's why it works, is because it is so set for Trey. In any other setting, especially in a school setting, all the kids are expected to learn the same thing, same time. Every kid there is on a different scale. And so it works because it's They do it on his time, what he needs to learn at that point, and what he's capable of. So it's just amazing, the difference.
Take us back when they told you that Trey had, was autistic. I mean, do you remember you and your husband's reaction?
I bawled. I was really not expecting her to say that he is a classic case of autism. I thought he might be borderline. I'd already kind of done research enough to know that this is what we were looking for, but I wasn't expecting that. And I really did. I absolutely broke into tears. I've never done it in a doctor's office. But our pediatric neurologist, she just grabbed my shoulder and she said, honey, you have the news that you've been waiting on. I mean, a year of not knowing and then finally knowing, even though it's not maybe the answer you were looking for, but knowing gives you knowledge, gives you power, and gives you the ability to take care of your child.
And then you found the Baton Rouge Speech and Hearing Foundation, the Emerge Center, and that was like a heaven sent to you and your family.
Oh, absolutely. We drove straight from the neurologist over there and met with Melissa. He got in the very last spot, and so he started 2 weeks after that. And that was exactly 2 weeks after his second birthday, and he's been there since. And he'll be 4 in May. So it's actually 2 years he'll be at the center this coming up May. And, I live in Denham Springs. I drive 5 days a week now. 3 days he's in full-time, 2 days he goes a few hours. And every mile I put on my car is worth it. Absolutely worth it.
And there are other parents out there, though. You're one of the lucky parents because there are people on waiting lists.
Yes.
Because it seems to me, I mean, she gave me the statistics, it seems like more and more children are being diagnosed with autism these days. And I'm sure you've met many other families.
Yes, I have.
That are maybe in the same boat that your family is. If there is a family watching us this morning that maybe they are you maybe 2 years ago, what would you tell them?
Really listen to your child. Pay attention to your child. Really realize that not all the milestones are going to be set in concrete like they are in the pediatric manual. And in my case, I had a pediatrician that just gave me the wrong information. But I knew always trust your mother's instinct because it is never, I guarantee you it's never wrong. And I found, I looked at myself and I called early steps myself. I made all the phone calls myself and got him on a path, and then waited actually 2.5 months to get in to see the pediatric neurologist. But all mothers, even fathers, really need to trust in their own instincts. And if you find a pediatrician that is not listening to you, find another pediatrician. I have an awesome one in Baton Rouge. I won't tell you his name because then you'll get drowned with calls and I won't be able to get in to see him when I want to. But you always have to trust your instincts. And if you see there's a great checklist on Autism Speaks that gives you a checklist to go through. And if you see some of these difficulties or milestones not being met, stand up for your child. Be your child's advocate. You're his parent. You're her parent. This is your job, is to advocate and be the best example and the best advocate for your child.
Well, coming up, how you can join the fight. But this week, they're raffling off a brand new Lincoln MKZ to benefit the new Emerge Center. Tickets still available. For more information, visit battleagainstautism.com. That's battleagainstautism.com, or call this number, 362-9049. We'll be right back. New Emerge Center, up front and center, Chip Robinson. He and his wife Sandy have a child diagnosed with autism. But they found life-changing therapy at the Baton Rouge Speech and Hearing Foundation. So Robinson Brothers donated a brand new Lincoln MKZ like this to raffle off and help make this dream become a reality.
Autism touches so many people, and we felt like there needed to be more awareness of autism in our community. And with the waiting lists that were being generated by the numbers of autistic children, we needed more room.
And joining us now, Shelton Jones with the Emerge Center. Great to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Where are the keys to the car? I thought I was going to get a test drive.
I know. Pretty soon, it could be yours. Next Thursday, we're going to be picking the winner.
How'd you come up with this idea?
Well, we're real fortunate. Robinson Brothers has donated a car to us for 2 years now. And this year, they've donated a wonderful MKZ for us, which is a 4-door sedan. And
We saw it. It is.
It really is one of the most beautiful sedans on the road at this time. I mean, it has all of the sophisticated bells and whistles you could imagine.
It cost over $40,000.
It does. We're so fortunate.
And why, Chip and Sandy Robinson, why are they so involved in this movement?
So their child went to Baton Rouge Speech and Hearing Foundation a few years ago and has done tremendously well. So they feel very, very passionate about the effectiveness of our therapies and the value of this center for this community. So they have really been supportive of our organization.
And the tickets have been going pretty fast. And I know we were over at Rufino's doing breakfast with tuna, and we had people stopping in buying 10 tickets at a time.
It really has. We've sold almost 800 tickets, and we're so grateful for all the community support. And we're very, very close to drawing the winner. So there's just a few more days left to buy your ticket. So really and truly, this money will go towards building a new, larger center to help more children with autism.
And there's only a limited number of tickets. And tell us how much they cost and where you can get them.
So the tickets are $100 each, and you can purchase them online at our website, which is battleagainstautism.com.
Mm-hmm. And it's only $100, and
yes,
that's a pretty good return on investment if you win.
It really is, and it's a great way to show your support, and there's going to be a wonderful, wonderful car at the end of this wonderful raffle drawing.
And every dollar is important when you're talking about building this new center, because as Melissa was saying, there's a waiting list in this day and age with kids with autism.
There is. Well, the rising prevalence of autism in this community is really skyrocketing. And so we've seen demand for our services truly increase over the last several years. And so it's unfortunate that families have to wait for our early intervention services that have been proven to really, really change these children's lives. So in the new Emerge Center, which we're building right now at the LSU Innovation Park, we'll be able to greatly increase access to our services. So it's a $7 million capital campaign that we've launched, and we are so close. We are $500,000 short of reaching our goal, and this is a really exciting time for us to have this car raffle.
Well, I have a feeling you're going to sell a lot of tickets this week. A lot of people wait until the last minute to buy a ticket. Again, it's only $100. There's a limited number of tickets. Tell us about now. It's not only a new beginning for the Emerge Center, but also when you draw for the car, for Robinson Brothers.
It is. It really is exciting. Robinson Brothers has recently remodeled their dealership. It's a beautiful new facility now. So there's a lot of excitement around this car and this car raffle right now.
Why are you involved in this?
Well, excuse me, one of my good friends, her child went to the Baton Rouge Speech and Hearing Foundation, and I have seen his growth and his development, and it truly is an amazing, amazing experience. And so I really wanted to make sure that more children and more families could go through that experience as well.
Yeah, and chances are, you know somebody, whether in your family, a neighbor, a friend, you know someone knows a family that's touched by autism.
It's right. It's 1 in 88 children, which is really astounding, that are being diagnosed with autism each year. And within that, it's 1 in 55 young boys. Mm-hmm. So it's true. Once you start talking to someone, it's really been an eye-opening experience for me personally, that there are people who say, oh, my neighbor's child or my niece or my nephew. So we're really hoping with the new Emerge Center to really help more families.
Well, and when you talk to somebody like Jamie Fletcher, and she tells you about Trey, and said at first with the diagnosis there was a big question mark about what's ahead for him. But now, after therapy at Speech and Hearing Foundation, he said mama for the first time. He said cheeseburger for the first time. I mean, and when you hear that, it just, and you see her beaming when he says it, it makes it all worthwhile.
It really does. And the fact that we can get these kids young when they are at that critical point in their development, and we can give them this intensive therapy, it really can make all the difference. And truly, we're helping kids get on track and get them into an educational environment that's right for them.
All right. That's Shelton Jones with the Emerge Center. Well, I'm John Pastorek. Thanks for